right. Welcome, everyone, to Matthew's Movie Corner. And before we begin with today's episode, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell for new videos that go up. For example, this weekend I'm going to have reviews for for Greenland 2, Migration, and Primate, the new horror movie that's coming out in our recent releases section. But today, we're in Matthew's Movie Corner with my guest, my dad, where we're going to talk about a few movies that I have seen, but he has not. We're just going to have a conversation about them. We're going to talk about the Oscar-nominated Pieces of a Woman, the Netflix film from 2020. We're going to talk about the dark comedy horror movie, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And the third one we'll talk about is the Stephen King adaptation, The Long Walk, which came out just last year. So, have you heard of any of these movies?
The Long Walk I had heard of. Because I saw commercials on TV about that one. But
see, I didn't get a lot of commercials for that one when it was new.
yeah, I remember that one coming out because that's one I actually wanted to see, not necessarily in a movie theater, but that's one I wanted to see.
Okay.
The other ones no.
Had I known that, I would have asked you to watch it with me so we could talk about it together.
Well, whose fault is that?
I guess that's mine. Well, anyway, so I'll start with Pieces of a Woman because that's the one I saw a few days ago. I had mentioned this one to you. Do you know anything about this movie?
Not really, no.
Do you know it was Oscar nominated?
No.
Okay. Well, it's Oscar nominated
Which blows me away, by the way, that a movie that I've never heard of can be nominated for an Oscar. Maybe that's my fault, but I don't know.
No,
it seems like Oscar-nominated movies should be popular, like movies that everybody knows.
Well, that's the thing. Now, a lot of those movies are on streaming services. It's hard to keep track of them now.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of the ones like Apple TV Plus and Netflix and Prime, it's just hard to know.
So what was this one on?
This was on Netflix.
Oh, well, we get Netflix. I mean, I could have seen this one, I guess.
It's fine. I mean, I'm not sure how much you would have liked this movie, but I'll say that. So we're going to start with Pieces of a Woman. And this movie is about, it's a couple with Vanessa Kirby and Shia LaBeouf as the couple.
Well, I know who Shia LaBeouf is. I don't know who Vanessa Kirby is.
She's been in a bunch of different stuff. She was recently she was recently Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four movie that was popular.
Doesn't help me a lot.
Okay, well she was in like a couple of the Mission Impossible movies, and she's been in a bunch of different stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, she is the reason this movie's Oscar nominated. Actually, she got nominated for her performance in this movie.
Oh, okay, all right.
So the plot of the movie.
So the movie nominated for Best Picture?
No, it was just for her performance.
Oh, just her.
Just her performance, yes. Right. So, and it's definitely well worth it, I think, because.
Well, okay, and I'm not a big Shia LaBeouf fan either. Like, not necessarily a big fan.
I will say, he's good in the movie, but his character does kind of just do. I'll get to that in a second, but so the plot of the movie is that Shia LaBeouf and Vanessa Kirby are a couple. And they're having a home birth. But the home birth goes very wrong and the baby doesn't make it.
Okay.
And the first act of the movie is probably the most engaging part because it's basically the lead up to the birth and then the birth itself.
Okay.
And you even see the baby at one point. And it's very suspenseful, and it's probably the best part of the whole movie is that whole opening act of the movie. But after the baby unfortunately doesn't make it.
Does it not make it because they're not in a hospital? I mean, is there something?
There's not really an explanation that they give. It's more like, so the baby's born and it seems okay, but then it suddenly turns blue, and the midwife is trying to wake the baby up.
So it all seems relatively natural. It's tragic, but this is a natural thing.
It's tragic, but it's a natural thing that seemed to had occurred.
Good enough.
So the rest of the movie is the aftermath of that, where Vanessa Kirby and Shia LaBeouf are both dealing with the loss of their baby in different ways, and there's also a criminal trial for the midwife because they think that she is at fault, and also the Vanessa Kirby's mother in the movie is played by Ellen Burstyn,
Mm.
and she thinks that
Her I know.
yes, here you go. She wants justice because the other. So there's a lot going on in this movie. So there's multiple layers to this. You have Vanessa Kirby kind of trying to just forget about the whole thing and just push it all away. You have Shia LaBeouf, who he starts out the movie sober, but then he relapses on drugs and alcohol, and he starts sleeping around. So he kind of does that stuff.
All right.
Which I've seen before in movies like this, but here it kind of makes sense because like he's growing more distant from Vanessa Kirby.
Spiraling down.
Yeah. Exactly.
Gotcha.
And then while that's going on, Ellen Burstyn and Shia LaBeouf both agree that they want to pursue a civil case against the midwife too because they think it'll be lucrative for them.
Well, okay. Yeah.
I mean, you're the lawyer, so you can...
I am. It seems like a logical thing to do to
yeah.
me. Yeah.
So, but obviously, so there's a lot of tension around that topic as well. And then
Well, what does the wife think?
She's not really for it at first. Like, she's just trying to push all of it away, and everyone is just sort of... Like there's a really good scene where she's telling off her mother that, I'm the one going through this. You don't know what it's like. That kind of a thing. And that's a really good scene. That's probably the best scene in the movie is the two of them arguing about the situation. And then Ellen Burstyn is saying that you do have a responsibility to tell your story and make your voice heard and see justice for what happened to your child. And
all that stuff.
All that sort of stuff.
Okay.
And it's a very good movie. It's really a portrait of grief because you're dealing with this obviously unfathomable tragedy that I'm sure has happened to people in real life.
Well, let me ask you this. Do they explore the notion that maybe the parents were at fault for not doing it in a hospital in the first place?
There's a little bit of that towards the end because the last act of the movie is in the courtroom for the criminal case against the midwife. And they finally convince Vanessa Kirby's character to come in and testify against her and tell her, because during the birth the midwife was saying that like the heartbeat was lowering, but that's okay for right now, but if it gets worse you need to call 911, and then she says to call 911. So there's like some question there about that, and then of course the defense attorney is asking Vanessa Kirby questions like, why did you have a home birth? You knew the risks involved, and if you knew you could go to the hospital where there was equipment in place that could potentially have saved your child, and all that kind of stuff. So they do address that.
But they don't really express that. The parents don't really express, should we be questioning ourselves in this whole thing?
I think they do question themselves a little bit, but I mean, it's a little bit of, it's mostly about where does the blame truly lie kind of a thing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at where the blame truly lies, you have to look at, should you have had a home birth in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, they do address it a little bit, but really, like, by the end of the movie, it's, Vanessa Kirby saying it wasn't the midwife's fault, like, she did everything.
No spoilers.
Oh, oops. well,
That's okay. So, compelling, sounds like a compelling drama.
It's a compelling movie. There's only one or two things about it I thought that were kind of out of place. Like, there's sort of this subplot that comes up where Ellen Burstyn basically just comes out to Shia LaBeouf and just says, like, I've never liked you, and here's a large sum of money, never come near my daughter again.
Oh.
And he takes it.
Oh, really?
And he just leaves.
Oh, really?
And I was like, where the hell did this come from?
Ah.
So there's, like, that kind of stuff, and then, like, there's some other stereotypical things with the LaBeouf character that they do. Like, he starts, like, sleeping, like, with Vanessa Kirby's cousin in the movie, who is, like, the civil defense lawyer who's, like, trying to push this whole thing, along with Ellen Burstyn. So there's stuff like that I'm like, okay, I've seen this before, and I'm like...
She wouldn't be the defense lawyer, just FYI.
Okay, I'm not the law expert.
She'd be the plaintiff's lawyer in that
The
situation.
plaintiff's.
But go ahead.
Okay, but anyway, so there was little things like that where I was like, okay, that seems a little out of nowhere. Where did that come from? And I don't know, but
Okay.
overall, like, I mean, do you have any other questions about the movie?
I mean, it sounds like, honestly, it sounds like a pretty good movie. Like, it sounds like, I don't know that even if I had heard of it before, if I go to the movies to see it, but it sounds like a movie I would want to watch. Maybe only one time because it's pretty
Yeah,
serious,
I don't think I'd watch it a second time. Let's
yeah,
put it
it's
that way.
pretty intense, sounds like. But no, it sounds really good.
Yeah,
And
Vanessa Kirby and Ellen Burstyn are kind of worth it alone.
Well, what do you think of Vanessa Kirby's chances to win an Oscar?
Well, she didn't win. This was like back in.
She's not nominated now for.
No.
Oh,
This
okay,
was like
fine.
This was like 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, and I've never heard of this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's why he needs me. 'Cause he doesn't know what's new when it comes out. It's all up to me to tell him.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well,
so
that sounds pretty good then.
Piece of Woman is a pretty good movie. I do recommend it, although probably only once. You know, it's kind of a harsh movie to get through, but it's, you know, I'm sure there's an audience for it out there that would be happy to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Well, you know, I like movies with, you know, different storylines. Like, you see the same stuff all the time. So if you tell a good story in a very compelling way, I'm all for that.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. Or if you're going to tell me the same story, how are you going to tell it in a way that's a little bit different than I'm going to like? You know, stuff like that. No, I totally agree.
Yep.
But this is definitely one of those cases where it's like, you know, it's a pretty straightforward portrait of grief about what happened, and that's basically the whole crux of the movie. And you know, it does tackle some of those questions, but maybe not as much as it could. You know, because it's like, you know, where does the blame lie, and a lot of it is like pointed at the midwife, but you know, it's like,
who was the midwife, by the way?
What was her name? It was like, she looks like Carrie Coon, but isn't Carrie Coon. It's like, what's her name?
Okay.
It's like Sarah. No, not Sarah Snook, although she's in this too. She's the cousin of Vanessa Kirby, the lawyer. I can't remember what this woman's name is, but she's also good in the
movie. Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. Yes, thank you. She's very good in the movie too, even though she's only in it really the first act and then doesn't show up until the end because of the court case.
Focuses on the family.
Yeah, the focus is on the couple and the family. Right. Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so next I'm going to talk about Bodies, 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 the dark comedy horror movie. Have you heard of this one?
No.
Okay.
All right, so first tell me when this was done, when this was made.
This came out in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it kind of had a limited release. I don't think it did the best at the box office. I could be wrong. Again, comments, tell me if I'm wrong. But it's one of those movies that's very much my cup of tea, where you know my cup of tea, where there's some dark comedy, but it's a horror movie sort of a thing. So it's about this group of 20-year-olds who go into this mansion during a hurricane, and then they start to play this game called...
Perfectly plausible.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know most of the young people in this movie. Like, they all look like people that I know, but I know they're not them. The only one there's only 2 people in this movie that I knew. One is, Pete Davidson is the...
Okay.
He lives in the mansion that they're in, so he's like, you know...
He lives in the mansion?
He lives in the mansion, yeah. He does that. And then there's Lee Pace, who's like a boyfriend of one of the 20-somethings.
Love Lee Pace. Okay, so...
No, go ahead.
Does Pete Davidson own this mansion?
He doesn't own it. It's his father's mansion. He's just living in it.
Oh, well, that's a little bit more acceptable. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I know you're not a huge... I take it you're not a Pete Davidson.
Not a huge... see. I don't see why he's so popular. I don't get it, but if he is, he is. That's fine. It just seemed odd to me that someone like his age would own a mansion.
Yeah,
You know?
no, he doesn't own it. He just lives there, and he's
Okay.
like the one who's like invited all his friends over to spend the hurricane. And
Oh, so these are his friends. It's not just this random. Group
no,
of-
no, 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 no.
Okay.
I guess I should have made that clear.
Okay,
No,
all
it's
right.
it's a group of friends, and our main character is this like Russian 20-year-old who is dating this girl who's part of the friend group who is sober and getting out of rehab.
Okay.
And so they arrive at the mansion kind of uninvited, but they still are like, okay, sure, whatever. The hurricane's coming. Where are you going to go? So let's all just hang out in here and
Okay.
do drugs and drink and do whatever else we want because we're all by ourselves here. So then they start playing a game called Bodies, 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 where it's
okay.
sort of like it's like a mafia or murder, where like one person's the murderer and you got to figure out who it is.
Okay.
Except a real dead body comes of it, and now they're trying to all figure out.
One of them.
One of them dies, and then they have to figure out who killed the person, and then dark comedy stuff ensues because these 20 somethings, they are all narcissistic, unlikable,
Oh, okay.
like idiots. Like that's kind of the idea. Like, you know, like there's scenes where, you know, like they're accusing of each other and they're like they'll argue over petty things even though there's a dead body on the floor. Like it's that kind of dark comedy.
Right.
And like there's this scene where like one character like eventually gets a gun and just shoots one of them like in the ankle, and then the girl is like, it's like Will Ferrell from like The Spy Who Shagged Me, where he's like, you shot me! You shot me in the ankle! Why would you do that?
Right.
Like, why? You know, it's like that kind of humor through the whole movie. So if you're prepared to deal with an unlikable crew of people, you'll like this movie fine. It's kind of like The Menu, except the guys from The Menu are probably more likable than here. But I still didn't mind watching a
What?
movie. Yeah. They're like...
Who's likable in The Menu? Except what's Anya Taylor-Joy?
I guess
She's the
it's
only likable one in the whole movie.
Well, they're all like likably unlikable. Is kind of the idea.
Okay.
At least that's what I think they're trying to do.
Okay.
And eventually, when it does get to who is responsible for all of it, it is pretty funny.
It's got to be Pete Davidson. Got to be.
You want me to tell you?
No, don't tell me. Don't spoil. Got to be though, right? Got to be.
Well, I guess you have to watch the
Okay.
movie to find out.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. We'll
You
see.
have to watch the movie to find out.
So just one person got killed, or more people get killed?
More people get killed as the
Yeah.
movie goes on, but that's because honestly, sometimes of just pure idiocy on their
Oh,
part.
so just
like,
yeah.
like one of the characters dies. More like because they think that they're threatening the group, so like one of them like bludgeons them, and then they die. And they're like, well, he was most likely, I mean, he was threatening us, right? And like he was an army veteran or something. And they're like,
Oh.
no, he was like an assistant veterinarian. What the hell is wrong with you? You know, it's like that kind of.
So it's almost like shades of reality shows that are like that,
A little bit,
right? Like
yeah.
who's going to kick you off the island? Who's going to kick you out of the house or whatever? But instead of kicking you off the island, they kill you.
It's kind of like that, but it's more like these characters are so idiotic they just don't know
Well,
what
yeah.
the right thing to do is.
Yeah, reality TV
you know?
shows. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Thank you.
But
Thank you for making my point for me.
okay, I made the point for you. All right. So
All right, so people die, but we figure out who
we do eventually figure out what and who's responsible
and why.
and why. Yeah.
Okay, well, fair enough. Do they get their comeuppance in the end?
That would go into spoilers.
Well, yes or no? Do they get their comeuppance?
I would say no,
Oh,
but
that's frustrating.
the reason there's no comeuppance to really give, if that makes sense.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
Fair enough.
not without trying to not spoil it, but I'm doing a bad job of
No,
that.
no, no. That's fine. That's fine. I get your point there. Enough mystery for me to, if I
Yeah.
ever,
If you ever watch
if
it,
I
yeah.
ever watch
Actually, funny enough, this movie was directed by the same person who directed that movie Baby Girl that I watched not too long ago.
it. And who was that?
Her name is like Helena, like Rain or Regine or something like that. I can't remember.
Okay.
She's like an actress too, apparently.
Okay.
That's all I know. Okay.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, not that we're, making a hierarchy here, but the first one I would definitely watch. This one, I don't know. If I had nothing else to do, maybe I'd watch it.
I got you. I mean, it was like all these I found on TV for free, so it was like pretty like they were playing on the channels and on FiOS. It's
Well, I'd have to
easy.
literally have nothing else to do, maybe to watch.
Because it'd be Davidson, of course.
Well, that's that's one thing, but I mean, he's apparently he's been very good. He made the one where like he was a fireman, I think. Right?
Yeah, that's supposed to be good.
Yeah, that is
the King of Staten
really
Island. Yeah.
Or yeah, so that sounds very good, and he's probably really good in it. I just don't, like a lot of people who most people find funny. I just don't see why he's that funny. Right, and there's a lot of people like that for me.
I mean, he does have a couple funny lines in the movie, and to his credit, like it's not a hard role to play, really.
Yeah.
It's like just kind of the big jerk in the room sort of thing. Like he's good at that.
Okay.
Because like they all like call him like every time oh, there's a spider there, by the way.
Yeah.
Like they'll even just call him out on his BS in the movie.
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
All right.
Okay,
Did
so
you save the best for last?
I think I did
All right,
because you mentioned you wanted to see this movie. So now we're going to talk about The Long Walk that came out last year, the Stephen King adaptation directed by Francis Lawrence, who did not all the Hunger Games movies, but most of them. He did all the ones from Catching Fire to Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. That was all him. And he's made a couple other movies. I looked him up too because I was curious what else he had done. He directed that movie Constantine that you like with Keanu Reeves.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's got a good filmography, and if you watch The Long Walk, it makes sense that he's the one that made this movie because it's kind of Hunger Games-esque.
Yeah. That was my first impression when I saw, the commercials on TV. I don't know if you call those trailers, but the commercials.
So it's
Ads.
it definitely is really this is most definitely a movie that this guy is really good at making.
Okay.
Sort of the quasi dystopian
Right.
world and
Yeah.
young people
Constantine was kind of out there too. So
quasi dystopian young people are in this
and
deadly
based on books, or I think Constantine was
about a comic book or something.
Yeah, like a graphic novel or comic book or something like that. So so good at adapting those kinds of things.
And this one's really, really good. I mean, I really wish I could go back and amend my best of list because I probably put that in here. It's because it's very good. I mean, so basically the premise is that it's in this sort of dystopian America, but not like the Hunger Games where there's like, districts and a lot of world building and that kind of thing, and like there's big trains and spectacle. It's not like that. It's really like kind of down and dirty in some ways. So the basic premise is that our main characters are
Do you ever see Mad Max?
no, I haven't yet.
So that's what it reminds me of, right? So the very first Mad Max movie, which I think was just called The Road Warrior, is like that. It's like some sort of dystopian or maybe a post-apocalyptic Australia, but it's not like so totally out of the realm of what we're used to.
Yeah,
right. It's still recognizable in a way, but it's down and it's dirty and it's like
Yeah, like when you see them in the long walk, a lot of it is like they're in like a rural state, you
Yeah.
know, and like every now and then you see like people watching them participating in the long walk, and like someone's missing a leg, or there's just a family sitting there.
All right, we'll start from the beginning.
watching.
So
Okay, well,
with
start from the
premise,
beginning.
yeah.
So basically, the plot is about these teen boys can volunteer to be in this game called The Long Walk. And it takes place in sort of a dystopian America where it's sort of described that there's economic hardship and there was the Great War and we're not the best country anymore. So you can equate a lot with that right away, even now, to that kind of stuff. So they participate in this game called The Long Walk, which is run by the Major. He's called the Major, and he's played by Mark Hamill. Actually,
oh, okay.
yeah,
All right.
and he's good in the movie. He's the bad guy essentially in the movie, and he's the one who is in charge of the Long Walk. And essentially, there's our main characters have to go through a set of rules in the Long Walk. Like you have to stay at least 3 miles an hour of walking speed.
Okay.
And if you fall under that, you get a warning. And if you can't get past the first warning, you get a second warning, and you get a third warning. And if you just can't keep up speed, they'll just shoot you on sight and kill you right there. And if you also race ahead too far, they'll shoot you. If you go off the road that you're walking on, they'll shoot you. It's basically like that. And there's no mercy in this. Like, if you like a character in this movie, they still get shot in the head right in front of you in this movie, you know. But our main characters...
So what are the potential benefits of volunteering?
So the potential... So the big gain is... The game goes until it's the last one walking. And then... So literally... They could go for hundreds of miles until just one is left. And then, so there's no finish line. And then there's, so then they get one wish granted and then a crudload of money at the end of the Long Walk. And that's the general idea.
Okay.
Yeah. But.
And they get lots of people signing up for this.
It's like a group of like, I don't know, like 50 or 60.
Wow.
And it dwindles down to our final two main characters by the end. And, like, people will, like, get Charlie horses. You can't stop to go to the bathroom, so, like, you just gotta pee while walking, or you gotta poop while walking. It's a whole...
That's a... Okay.
It happens.
It's a hard no.
It happens. It's a hard no, but... But it's, you know, it's... But it's all about... The Major says it's, like, about, you know, this is bringing, like... shining light to our country and like inspiration and all this crap that, you know, it's like,
really?
Yeah, in this dystopian world.
Wow.
You know, like this is the big thing because they televise the whole thing and there's armored cars that follow these guys the whole time. And if they get their third warning or if they just keel over and just give up, they'll just shoot them right there.
I guess I don't get that. Like, so... If you look at the Hunger Games, right, it's
very much
it's still a warped, messed up logic that they have for even having the Hunger Games, right?
Yeah.
We had these wars, we fought each other, it was bloody, it was terrible. Now, instead of doing all of that, we're going to confine our violence to one time a year with 2 people from each district. And we're going to duke it out right there. And then for the rest of the year, we're just going to go on with things. And so we'll have the violence and we'll have the spectacle of it. And then we move on. But that's the way to avoid future wars among us. It's a warped logic, but at least it's logical. You know, in a sense.
Well,
this doesn't have any logic at all. How does it help the country? For these guys to just like, volunteer to walk.
There's a lot of spectators who love watching.
Yeah, but why? I don't get it. Why? Even the Running Man, right? The Running Man had logic in it. I'm talking about the first one, right? Had some logic in it, right? You had criminals, and we want to do away with criminals, and that incentivizes the populace not to be criminals. because you could end up on the show, right? And all this, right?
Yeah.
There's a logic. It's warped again, but there's a logic to the violence. This seems like there's no logic. There's no point to it. One person wins, you get some money, you get a wish granted, whatever that means, right?
Well, like the wish. Well, like they kind of.
Well, how does that help the country at all? Like, do
It's,
they explain
it's just
that?
it's just how this world works. I mean, there might have been
heavens.
an explanation.
Oh, let me tell you. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, what was the one with one day a year anybody can
The Purge.
The Purge, right? Same
Yeah,
thing, right?
It's the same thing.
Same thing. It's warped logic, but one day a year we can have our violence and have our crime, and then the rest of the year we all live in peace, right?
Well, this isn't really like that. This is more like, this seems like a regular thing that happens.
That's what I mean. But what purpose does it serve?
It does.
Even
People,
in the world of the
you see
movie.
people cheering them on. You see people like at the end, and they're like, "Yeah, woo!" Like that. And then, really, the big thing about this movie that works really well is the performances are really good.
Well, I can see. I'm sure that that's true. I just have a basic problem with the premise, right? If you're telling me that this messed up competition
Well, haven't you
will
ever?
make the country better, I don't see how that works.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
But,
what about suspension of disbelief?
But I'll move on. I'll move on from that.
It is a very, very good movie, honestly. Like, the performances really do carry it, and it is like, when the Major does pop up, Mark Hamill is creepy. Like, he is, like, like, he's really good as this bad guy.
Yeah.
And I know it's weird, because, like, I know you're used to him as Luke Skywalker and everything.
Well,
else,
I mean, he's a great actor, right? I just like, there's something fundamentally wrong, right? So, it's even within the world. Like, within the world, if you're telling me that this is going to help America be great or whatever,
yeah.
You really got to tell me how.
Yeah.
How do you think that that's correct?
It's one of those things where if you think too hard about that, you're really not going to like it.
Right. So I'm willing to move on from
But if you can move on from
my
that,
initial objection to that.
this is 100% worth it. I mean, it is like Running Man, Purge, Hunger Games-esque, but it's done in such a visceral, like, gritty way that it's a bit different from those.
Okay.
Like, The Purge is more outlandish to me than this was. The
All right.
Hunger Games was more like the showmanship and the spectacle of it. This isn't really that. This is more like, this is kind of like, like a Last Man Standing, Lord of the Flies kind of.
Well, at
logic
least
in
the
world.
problem I had with The Purge, and I only saw the first one, I think.
I've seen most of them.
The problem I had with The Purge was I wasn't invested in any of the characters. Like, there was not like, I understand you want to survive, but who are you that I should care about you, right? So the Hunger Games, you're invested in Katniss' story and Peeta's story, right? You're invested in the people, and it's about it's as much about the relationship between Katniss and Peeta and the other dude, the Hemsworth.
Yeah.
You're as much invested in that as you are in the actual, revolution that's going on. So, with this movie, though, it sounds like at least you get to know.
You really
couple
do
of
get
people.
to know the characters, and
Yeah.
you do feel bad when some of them don't end up making.
Yeah, so that would be compelling for me to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally think of the three movies I've talked about today, this is probably my favorite one of the three. And it doesn't hold back on the violence either. Like you'll see like them just execute them.
But is that's the extent of the violence? Nobody fights back.
There's a little bit of that at points, but it's mostly like these guys just you see them suffer through this thing.
And then I don't know how to ask this without inducing a spoiler, but there's no bigger point here. There's no bigger, we want to change this game, we want to change.
There is kind of a bigger point.
Does that happen at the end or no?
I think it does.
Okay, don't say anymore. don't say anymore.
But
Because I actually do want to see this movie, so definitely don't spoil this one.
yeah, I think it's someone else had said this on. I think Doug Walker said this, which was I thought was funny. He said that it was last year we had a lot of King adaptations come out. One's called The Long Walk, and the other one's called The Running Man. Think about it.
Right.
It's funny that like just the irony of that I thought was pretty funny. Although I think I like this more than the new Running Man. I think.
Really?
Yeah, this is a lot better than the new
Okay.
Running Man that we saw. Because
Okay.
I know you and I had our issues with that. Like that was more implausible than this was. I thought.
Well, and it's just it's kind of the same objections that I have, or the same criticisms I have with this movie that we talked about. The first Running Man, even though the production values weren't as good as the second one because it was done back in the day, and then it's Arnold, and it's just Arnold doing Arnold stuff. You know? At least it was a point, right? The point was that he was trying to clear his name. There was sort of this pseudo rebellion or something going on, and they eventually try to support that, right? And you're trying to take down this horrible regime that's doing all these wicked things to the populace. There's a point to it, right? The second Running Man's like, my man just wants to survive and
see his family again.
See his family again, which is fine. It was good enough, but it wasn't it wasn't a bigger story. It wasn't a broader purpose for that. This, that's why I asked you: is there a broader purpose?
There is a broader.
Is it served?
It is served.
Or is it just somebody finally won and
that's it?
They're gonna do it again, next week or something.
No. It's there's a broader purpose towards the end that they do fulfill. At least I think that's what they're trying to get at the end.
Okay, all right.
Although you could interpret it maybe a couple of ways, but I think that it does fulfill that thing that you
so worth
mentioned.
watching. Yeah.
Definitely.
Who's in this one?
I don't really know most of the guys who are participating in the Long Walk. I don't know who they are. I think they might be newer people, or if they've been in other stuff. I don't know.
All right.
But it's Mark Hamill's the one that I knew, and then I think Judy Greer plays the mom of the main character.
Okay.
And she's only in it this much though.
Oh, so no breakout stars in your opinion?
Oh, well, the guys in the movie for sure. All of them. I think I'd love to see them in something else. Okay. Yeah,
we'll have to look up.
There's two main characters, and then there's some supporting characters that are kind of in their group when they are participating in the Long Walk, and all of them are great, and all of them have their moments to shine, and you see the hardship that they all go through, and I feel like this is definitely a movie where if the performances weren't as strong as they were, it probably wouldn't have worked as well. Okay.
All right.
You wouldn't just have the premise to keep it interesting.
All right. Well,
because literally most of the movie is just them walking. It's just you see them on this journey.
That's the thing, right? So I don't mind stuff like that. I like kind of weird, quirky movies where seemingly not a lot is happening, but a lot is happening.
Yeah.
Right. I've tried to make you watch a few of them, and you hate them. So that's fine with me, right? Because you can build tension without having constant action.
Yeah, no, there's always a sense of dread when these guys are walking, because if they slow down or get their 3 warnings that these guys are gonna die. That that's the consequence of it.
Right.
The first one of them dies in the first 100 miles, and then because he gets a bad Charlie horse or something like that, and he just can't walk anymore, and then he's trying to get up and move more, but they just kill him right there, and then the major tries to say there's never one more noble than the first to go. Today we walk for him. It's like that.
Okay.
What?
That's what I mean about the premise. I don't know if I can get over the premise, but it still sounds
I described it to Mom a little bit, and even she's like, "Please stop telling me things." She was like, "I'm gonna have nightmares."
Well, I know it just seems fruitless, pointless.
It's not. I don't think it's fruitless and pointless, but that's just my opinion.
Well, I definitely would watch that.
Yeah, of the 3, Watch that one.
3. Yeah. So my of these.
I mean, Pieces of a
of
Woman
these,
is good too.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
but-
3, 1, maybe 2.
Yeah. So definitely Long Walk. Maybe Pieces of a Woman.
Yeah.
If you get to Bodies.
If there's
Bodies.
nothing else happening.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.